It didn't happen all at once, the leaving. It was slow, quiet, subtle. A series of small compromises that didn't seem like much at the time. A moment when you held your tongue instead of speaking your truth. A moment when you forced a smile while your chest was caving in. A moment when someone dismissed your pain and you decided not to bring it up again. Over time, those moments added up. You became the version of yourself the world could accept, softer in the wrong places, smaller in the ways that felt safest, agreeable when you wanted to scream. You adapted because survival asked you to. And maybe no one saw the loss as it was happening. Maybe you didn't even see it. But deep down, something inside you began to go quiet, the spark, the voice, the part of you that once felt whole. And now? Now there's an ache you can't quite explain. A distance you feel from your own self, even when life on the outside looks fine. You didn't mean to abandon yourself, you just didn't know how to stay. Staying would have meant facing the discomfort, the rejection, the grief you weren't ready to hold. So you did what you had to do, you left. Not entirely, not forever. But enough to feel the hollow echo where your soul used to be more present. Enough to feel like a stranger in your own body. Enough to look in the mirror and not recognize your own reflection, not because of how you look, but because of how far away you feel from the person you were meant to be. And yet, even in that distance, there's still a thread, a soft, invisible pull reminding you that something's missing. That you are missing. And that you're allowed to come back. That the part of you left behind isn't gone, just waiting. Quietly. Patiently. Hoping one day you'd return. You've built a life, maybe a stable one, maybe a successful one, but somewhere deep inside, it still doesn't feel like it belongs to you. You've kept moving forward, kept doing what needed to be done. You've checked the boxes, fulfilled the roles, and shown up day after day like someone who has it together. And maybe, from the outside, everything looks fine, functional, even admirable. But inside, there's a quiet sense of disconnection, like you've been living on autopilot. You smile when you're supposed to. You say you're okay, even when you're not. You go through the motions, but the meaning feels distant. The spark is dim. The joy feels muted. And underneath the functioning, there's a quiet, aching awareness that something essential was left behind, not something material, but something sacred. A piece of your truth. Your voice. Your aliveness. Still, even in that half-hearted rhythm of survival, you were trying. You were doing your best with what you had, building a life the only way you knew how, even without the full presence of your soul. That deserves compassion. That deserves to be honored. Because functioning without wholeness is its own kind of bravery. It takes strength to keep going when you feel hollow inside. It takes courage to keep showing up in a life that doesn't feel fully yours. And if no one's ever told you this, you did not fail. You adapted. You protected yourself the best way you knew how. Even half alive, you were still trying. The world may not have seen your effort, but I do. I see the weight you carried while your truest self stayed quiet in the background. And I want you to know, it's not too late to come back. It's not too late to remember the parts of you that made life feel real. The soul you left behind is still waiting, and it's ready to return. Close your eyes, and for just a moment, imagine the version of you that got left behind. The one who stopped speaking because no one seemed to listen. The one who stopped dreaming because dreaming started to hurt. The one who once believed in something, in themselves, in love, in possibility, and then slowly, quietly, stopped believing. You may not have noticed when it happened, but you felt the absence. The way joy doesn't land the same. The way you crave something deeper but don't know how to name it. That part of you, the one that was silenced, overlooked, or buried beneath years of trying to be okay, is still there. Not gone. Not broken. Just waiting. Waiting for you to come back. Waiting for your eyes to soften. Waiting for your heart to say, I remember you. So go there now, gently. You don't have to rush. Just imagine meeting them, the younger you, or the freer you, or the you that didn't apologize for existing. What do they look like? What do they feel like? What have they been holding in your absence? Kneel beside them in your mind. Hold their hands. Listen to what they've wanted to say all these years. Maybe it's sorrow. Maybe it's hope. Maybe it's silence, and that's okay too. Let them know you see them now. Let them know they're no longer forgotten. Whisper to them, I'm sorry I left you behind. I didn't know how to stay, but I'm here now. And then say the most important thing, you are still in there. You never stopped waiting to be seen. Let this moment be the beginning of coming home. Let it be the bridge between who you've become and the soul you were never meant to lose. Coming back to yourself won't feel like a celebration at first. It might feel like grief. It might feel like fear. Because returning to the parts of you that were once buried means standing face to face with everything you thought you had to hide in order to be accepted, loved, or simply survive. It means admitting that the person you abandoned is still alive inside you, still aching for acknowledgement, still waiting to be held. And that's a tender process. It's not always gentle. Sometimes it stings. Sometimes it overwhelms. But it is sacred. To reintegrate the soul, the truest, most unedited version of you, requires a kind of presence that can't be rushed. It asks for honesty, but not cruelty. It asks for softness, but not avoidance. It asks you to show up, not to fix or to fight, but simply to say, I'm here. I see you. I want to know you again. And yes, there will be fear. Fear that returning means reopening old wounds. Fear that you'll be judged, not just by others, but by yourself. That's why this can only be done with gentleness. You cannot force healing through shame. You cannot reclaim your soul through punishment. What was exiled must be welcomed, not dragged. So create space, in your breath, in your body, in your day, where the lost pieces of you can feel safe enough to return. Let them come back slowly, in whispers, in fragments, in quiet remembering. You are allowed to be whole again. Not perfect, not finished, not fixed, but whole. You are allowed to be someone who left and still found their way home. Say it as many times as you need. I am allowed to come home to myself, slowly, without punishment, without shame. Let that truth be your anchor. Let it be the light you follow as you begin to remember what it feels like to belong to yourself. You are not too late to begin again. Not by a day, not by a breath, not by a single step. That soul of yours, the one you feared you had lost, never disappeared. It didn't fade into nothing. It simply waited, quietly, patiently, through all the noise and distractions and detours. It waited through your seasons of survival. Through the masks you had to wear. Through the moments when it didn't feel safe to be yourself. It never stopped believing in your return. And now that you're here, even if unsure, even if trembling, that soul rises to meet you, not with bitterness, but with open arms. Because the truth is, you were never broken beyond repair. You were never too far gone. You were just learning how to survive in a world that didn't always make space for softness. And now, you get to learn something new, how to come home. Not to who you used to be, but to who you've always been beneath the forgetting. Becoming whole again doesn't mean erasing the past. It doesn't mean pretending you didn't leave or that the pain didn't happen. It means holding your story in your hands and saying, this, too, is part of me, and I choose to love myself anyway. It means stitching your pieces back together, not perfectly, but honestly. With gold in the cracks. With softness where there was once shame. This isn't about fixing yourself, it's about remembering yourself. It's about choosing to stand beside the version of you that never stopped waiting for the day you'd return and say, I'm here now. I'm ready to live fully again. And as you walk forward, let these words be your compass. You are always worthy of coming home to. Not because of anything you've done, but simply because you exist. Because you're real. Because you're you. And that is more than enough. Always has been. Always will be.